The decision to resolve the warrior battle through mutual agreement marked the beginning of a pivotal event. After the message was transmitted, a mere week passed before the arena was prepared, and a diverse crowd assembled, eager to witness the impending clash. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation as Count Aertes, the appointed judge, stepped forward to address the gathering. Count Aertes, a figure of authority, emphasized the sacred nature of the impending warrior battle. With solemnity in his voice, he declared that the event was blessed by Valhalla itself. Regardless of the outcome, both parties were bound to comply with the decision. Aertes warned that any transgressions would not be taken lightly, invoking the honor of the Kingdom of Cairo as the ultimate arbiter of justice. In an echo of the profound importance of the event, Count Aertes instructed each faction to designate 3 warriors to represent them. Additionally, they were required to submit an order list, outlining the sequence in which their chosen champions would enter the battle. As the directives were given, the tension in the arena heightened, and the gravity of the situation was palpable. Amidst this charged atmosphere, Roman, a keen observer, noticed a disturbingly carefree demeanor among the members of Barco's contingent. Something was amiss, and Roman felt compelled to address the situation. He approached Baron Lawrence, his counterpart from the opposing faction, with a suggestion to alter the predetermined order. Baron Lawrence, taken aback by this proposal, reminded Roman that the order had been decided a week ago. Roman, however, was quick to point out the temporal significance of the delay. In his view, the extra week had provided Barco's faction with an opportunity to strategize, creating an advantage that needed to be nullified. Roman suspected that Barco deliberately prolonged the decision-making process, and the lack of anxiety among Barco's associates hinted at a hidden agenda. Baron Lawrence, inquisitive and concerned, questioned Roman about the proposed changes to the order. Roman feels the presence of a stronger individual than the other soldiers in the vicinity, observing as this formidable figure lounges in a chair near Barco. Roman, displaying a strategic mindset, suggested a radical shift. Initially planning for himself to go first, followed by a knight of Lawrence, and Chris to conclude, Roman now advocated for a change. Chris would take the lead, facing the challenge head-on, followed by Roman, who would adapt the strategy to overpower the opponent Barco had prepared. The revelation of this revised plan left Baron Lawrence and Flora, a prominent figure in the assembly, visibly shocked. Roman, undeterred, explained his rationale, emphasizing the need to keep Barco off balance and maintain the initiative. In the face of uncertainty, Roman's confidence and adaptability shone through. As the discussion unfolded, the first match loomed on the horizon. Chris stepped into the arena to face his opponent, Yinsun, a formidable 3-star Aura Knight. Chris, with a self-assured demeanor, introduced himself as a 2-star Aura Knight, setting the stage for an intriguing clash. Whispers and murmurs rippled through the audience as they recognized Chris as the pupil of Jonathan and a reputed genius from the northern region. The anticipation in the crowd was palpable as the warriors, Chris and Yinsun, stepped into the arena. The odds seemed stacked against Chris, a mere 2-star Aura Knight, facing off against the formidable 3-star Aura Knight, Yinsun. Many in the audience believed Chris stood little chance against his higher-ranked opponent. However, Chris held a different philosophy. To him, taking risks was not a sign of weakness but a crucial pathway to becoming stronger. This belief had led Chris to make a significant choice, to leave Jonathan, his previous mentor, and follow a new leader, referred to as my liege. As the battle commenced, Yinsun wasted no time and charged at Chris with the full force of his aura. Drawing from his past sparring sessions, particularly one with Roman, Chris quickly realized that Yinsun's potent aura would only be effective if it could successfully land on its target. It was a moment of clarity that shaped Chris's strategy for the unfolding duel. Chris opted for a tactical approach, focused on dodging Yinsun's attacks and patiently waiting for the opportune moment to strike. Yinsun, growing increasingly frustrated with Chris's elusive maneuvers, couldn't contain his impatience. He shouted at Chris, questioning how long he intended to keep evading. In a surprising twist, Yinsun unleashed a wide, red aura attack that caught Chris off guard. Faced with this unexpected assault, Chris found himself pondering his next move. It was in this critical moment that he recalled the advice given to him by Roman, the need to distance oneself from conventional logic. In response, Chris decided to emit his own aura, understanding that a thoughtless outburst of mana wouldn't showcase the full force of his abilities. He focused on Roman's counsel, which emphasized the importance of transforming the directional plane into a line, then refining it further into a single point. The goal was to concentrate the aura into that singular point of focus. As both warriors prepared to strike, the arena was filled with an electric energy. In a climactic exchange, Chris and Yin-sun unleashed their attacks simultaneously. To the astonishment of everyone present, Chris emerged victorious. The 2-star knight had defeated the formidable 3-star opponent, defying the expectations of the audience. The reaction was immediate and enthusiastic. The crowd erupted into cheers and applause, acknowledging Chris's strategic brilliance and the success of his unconventional tactics. Baron Barco stood at the edge of the arena, his eyes wide with disbelief. Yin-sun, his chosen warrior, had been defeated. The plan was to conclude the warrior battle in the second match, wrapping it up neatly and securing a victory. However, fate had other ideas, and now the final match had become the linchpin of Baron Barco's hopes. In the midst of this unexpected turn of events, Baron Barco found solace in a secret weapon he had meticulously prepared, a trump card that had cost him a small fortune. The details of this hidden gem were known only to him, a source of reassurance amid the chaos. As he pondered the situation, a soldier approached a figure slumbering on a chair. It was time for his match. Homeros of Barco, a 4-star aura knight, rose from his makeshift bed and made his way to the arena. The anticipation in the air was palpable as the spectators wondered about this mysterious warrior chosen by Baron Barco. Chris, Baron Lawrence, and Flora, equally taken aback by the sudden turn of events, exchanged shocked glances. Homeros, with an air of confidence, introduced himself in the arena. A 4-star aura knight, ranked 49 in a system originating from the Valhalla Empire. The Valhalla Empire, a sanctuary where those who died honorably were believed to find eternal rest, had a unique way of acknowledging strength the ranks. Those who risked their lives to reach Valhalla had their battles recorded, and the names of the strong were immortalized through the ranking system. Baron Lawrence, although initially stunned, began to grasp the significance of Homeros' presence. Sending out a warrior of such caliber in the final match spoke volumes about Baron Barco's strategic prowess. Homeros, known as the Wandering Swordsman, had gained widespread fame for roaming across the kingdom, engaging in battles against formidable opponents. The audience buzzed with excitement as they discussed Homeros' reputation. Whispers of his past victories and tales of defeating a 4-star knight circulated among the spectators. The murmurs painted a vivid picture of a skilled and elusive warrior, and the anticipation for the upcoming battle reached a fever pitch. Meanwhile, Roman, a keen observer in the crowd, wore a confident smirk. Having delved into information guilds, he had attempted to unravel Barco's moves, but his efforts had only scratched the surface. Roman sources hinted at superficial information, leaving him eager to uncover the true depth of Baron Barco's strategy. Roman recognized that Homeros was the hidden card in Barco's hand. The Wandering Swordsman, a figure of mythic proportions, had remained veiled in secrecy until this crucial moment. The revelation added a layer of excitement to the impending match, and Roman, with an eager gleam in his eyes, leaned forward in anticipation. As the crowd discussed and speculated, Roman couldn't contain his excitement. The 4-star aura knight, a trump card carefully concealed by Barco, promised an exhilarating showdown. Roman, aware that his opponent had hidden his strength, now surmised that Barco had strategically concealed the true prowess of Homeros, making the final match an unpredictable and thrilling spectacle. In the arena, Roman stood poised for a confrontation with his opponent, Homeros, unaware of the brewing storm within the ranks of Lawrence's camp. Flora, genuinely concerned for Roman's safety, attempted to persuade him to surrender. Homeros, holding the impressive rank of 49, was considered powerful enough to ascend even higher, possibly reaching rank 30 or beyond. Flora, acting as the voice of reason, implored Roman to weigh the risks carefully. She urged him to consider the importance of preserving his life and suggested that victory in the next match was a more achievable goal. Homeros, on the other hand, regarded Roman with a piercing gaze that exuded an absolute confidence in his own abilities. This unyielding demeanor grated on Roman's nerves, and a sense of dislike began to fester. Flora advises Roman that it's the right moment for him to let Lawrence take care of the unexpected situation. She assures Roman that Lawrence will send out their skilled knight to handle it. Flora firmly tells Roman that there's no need for him to put his life at risk in a battle that seems impossible to win. Rushing off Flora's concern and ignoring her outstretched hand, Roman asserted his independence, expressing a lack of desire to explain his decisions. With unwavering determination, Flora insisted that Lawrence, their ally. Despite Flora's plea, Roman moved forward, determined to face the challenge head-on. He entered the arena, introducing himself as Roman Dimitry from Lawrence's camp. The air crackled with anticipation as both Roman and Homeros prepared for the impending clash. The juxtaposition of their energies was palpable, setting the stage for a battle that held the promise of revealing hidden strengths and strategies. Homeros sized up Roman, thinking that if Roman possessed enough skill to defeat Flair, then he must be a formidable two-star Aura Knight. Homeros couldn't fathom having to deal with a seemingly minor opponent like Roman when he was gearing up to face the formidable rank 30 Fernando soon. As the match commenced, Homeros, determined to swiftly conclude this encounter, charged forward with full force. As the initial moves unfolded, Homeros, the seasoned warrior with a formidable reputation, couldn't help but harbor surprise and perhaps a hint of frustration. Roman's agility and skill, evident in effortlessly dodging Homeros' initial attack, suggested a level of prowess that Homeros hadn't anticipated. The spectators, including onlookers Chris and Kevin, were taken aback by Homeros' impressive speed and Roman's adept evasion. Homeros, recognizing Roman's abilities, began to reassess the situation. As the match progressed, Homeros, with a blend of curiosity and a hint of respect, inquired about the method Roman employed to manifest his aura. It was a moment of acknowledgement, where the seasoned warrior found himself genuinely intrigued by the newcomer's skills. Roman, who had hoped for a meaningful battle after a prolonged period without one, observing Homeros' cautious approach, Roman couldn't shake the feeling that his opponent was holding back, underestimating him in the process. Rather than going all out, Homeros seemed to be restrained. Responding to this perceived underestimation, Homeros decided to intensify his aura, creating an immense pressure that sent shockwaves through the audience. Despite the impressive display of power, Roman found it hard to reconcile the overwhelming aura with Homeros' rank of 49. He regarded Homeros as a killjoy, a warrior who dampened the excitement of the battle by not fully unleashing his capabilities. Sensing that prolonging the confrontation was pointless, Roman, with a determined and deadly intent, surged forward. Directly challenging Homeros, Roman invited him to block the impending attack if he could. Roman's sword emitted a dark purple aura as he prepared to unleash his Heavenly Demon Sword technique, known as the Black Wave. As Roman initiated this formless technique, named for its swiftness and precision, it felt as if time itself had frozen for Homeros. Homeros, taken aback, couldn't believe the level of mastery Roman displayed in manipulating mana. The swift execution of the Black Wave technique left Homeros stunned. In a single, fluid motion, Roman brought down Homeros, concluding the battle with a strike that echoed with finality. The narrative takes a brief detour, shifting to a memory that unfolds in the recesses of Homeros' mind. In this recollection, the Guildmaster is portrayed as astutely aware of Homeros' anticipation for the impending match against Fernando, a pivotal contest that could elevate him to rank 30. However, the Guildmaster diverts Homeros' attention, requesting him to partake in a seemingly inconsequential warrior battle between two remote families. The Guildmaster views it as a light warm-up, a means to keep Homeros engaged. Homeros, in reflection, acknowledges the logic behind the Guildmaster's decision. Despite having garnered an A-rank mercenary plaque, Homeros had been consistently declining missions, choosing instead to roam the kingdom and engage in battles against formidable opponents. Faced with the Guildmaster's request, Homeros recognizes the inevitability of this warrior battle and reluctantly participates. The scene then shifts back to the arena, where the aftermath of the duel between Homeros and Roman unfolds. Flora and the audience are collectively taken aback, witnessing the downfall of a superstar who had not only risen in the rankings but was also ambitiously aiming to break into the esteemed rank 30. The shockwave intensifies as Roman Dimitry, with a single, swift slash, defeats Homeros, leaving a sense of disbelief in his wake. Roman, wearing a sinister expression, contemplates the audacity of a man who, despite not having reached the peaks, dared to exude such arrogance. Roman's standards, we learn, are not tethered to the norms of this world, but rather to his experiences in a past life. He recalls the Murim, a realm reminiscent of a vast galaxy with endless stairs of martial masters. In that world, the pace was unrelenting, and only death awaited those who were careless. Roman finds the mindset of the people in this world inefficient and dismisses it as garbage. With an air of authority, Roman directs the judge to announce the result. The judge, visibly shocked by the unexpected turn of events, declares Roman Dimitry of Lawrence as the winner. The Barconites, along with the rest of the onlookers, struggle to come to terms with Homeros' swift defeat. The arena, once filled with anticipation, now holds an eerie silence. Chris, who has been a keen observer throughout, is not immune to the shockwave that reverberates through the arena. Thoughts swirl in Chris's mind as they grapple with the sudden transformation of events. The question arises, did Roman possess this staggering level of strength even before their initial duel, or was there a remarkable surge in his abilities afterward? Chris is confident that during their first encounter, Roman lacked the strength to overpower someone of Homeros's caliber. Moreover, there simply hasn't been enough time for Roman to undergo such substantial growth. The situation, in Chris's analytical perspective, appears logically impossible, prompting a cascade of wonder about the unfathomable depths of Roman's abilities. The unexpected outcome leaves doubt lingering in Chris's mind. After defeating Yinsen in the first match, the notion of surpassing Roman had seemed within reach, but now, as the dust settled from Roman's match, Chris found himself grappling with the stark reality that surpassing Roman had been a naive notion. Lawrence's triumph in the warrior battle sent shockwaves through the arena. Count Aerty stepped forward, announcing that the winner had been decided, and there was no need to squander additional resources. The families were granted the right to rearrange the order list, allowing for the selection of new warriors after thorough discussions. On the other side of the arena, Baron Barco stood in disbelief at the outcome. The defeat of Homeros, a 4-star knight and one of the kingdom's true warriors, left Baron Barco questioning the authenticity of the guild's selection. The possibility of a fake Homeros sent a shiver down Baron Barco's spine. Amidst this confusion, a soldier approached, informing Baron Barco that they needed to send out a warrior. The urgency of the situation dawned on Baron Barco, recognizing the imperative to avoid further losses. In a surprising move, Baron Barco decided to send out Benson, a null-star knight. This decision startled the soldier, who grasped the implied risk of deploying a seemingly low-ranking warrior. However, Baron Barco saw this as an opportunity for Benson to redeem himself, especially after an incident during a social event that had tarnished the Barco family's reputation. It was a chance for Benson to prove his mettle in the arena. As Benson found himself standing in the arena, the audience struggled to identify the unfamiliar knight. The Lawrence camp, meanwhile, began to strategize for the unexpected opponent. Kevin, a member of the Lawrence forces, noticed Benson and approached Roman with an intensity in his eyes that conveyed a killer intent. Roman, perceptive to the harsh dynamics of their world, understood the unspoken challenge that Kevin sought to embrace. In a world where survival of the fittest reigns supreme, Roman contemplated the stark reality that losers were often met with death. Even though Benson held a null-star knight status, Roman acknowledged the potential threat he posed, recognizing that every opponent brought its own challenges. Despite the smile he wore, Roman understood the gravity of the situation and the stakes at play. With a nod of permission, Roman allowed Kevin to take on the challenge posed by Benson. As Kevin stepped into the arena, the atmosphere became charged with anticipation. Within the confines of the arena, Benson grappled with fear, questioning the series of events that led him to this daunting moment. Once strolling down a promising path with the security of his father's knighthood, Benson had ascended to become a knight of the influential Barco family in the Northeast. The road had seemed secure until the heavy cost of loyalty revealed itself, an obligation to face potential death in a warrior battle. As Benson sized up his opponent, Kevin, a surprising sense of familiarity eased his apprehension. Despite the grim circumstances, a smirk adorned Benson's face, signaling a misplaced confidence that victory was well within his grasp. The two warriors, Kevin and Benson, stood poised for the impending clash. In the tense atmosphere, Benson couldn't help but smirk, questioning Kevin's motives, whether seeking revenge or volunteering for the battle. Regardless, Benson pointed out the shared experience of abandonment by their respective lieges. For Benson, this encounter felt like an unexpected stroke of good fortune, a chance to turn the situation to his advantage. In response, Kevin, with a steely glare in his eyes, declared himself nothing more than a sword protecting his liege. This revelation only fueled Benson's determination. Charging at Kevin with full force, Kevin skillfully avoided Benson's attack and poised himself to strike Benson with his sword. Benson caught Kevin off guard, evading his attack and countering with a swift kick to Kevin's stomach. The impact sent Kevin sprawling to the ground, a surprising turn of events that played to Benson's advantage. Observing the unfolding spectacle, Chris couldn't ignore the substantial difference in their physical builds. The question of Roman's strategic reasoning loomed large in Chris's mind. What had prompted the decision to send Kevin into the fray? Benson, seizing the momentum, unleashed a barrage of slashes upon Kevin's body. Despite the onslaught, Kevin displayed resilience, standing firm against each strike. A glare in Kevin's eyes hinted at an internal struggle, a darker force within him coming to the forefront. As Benson continued his assault, Kevin's internal conflict intensified. The devil within Kevin whispered the desire for revenge against Benson, urging him to take control of the situation. With a menacing determination, Kevin readied himself to strike back.